कोरोना वायरस के कहर के बीच कोविड-19 महामारी संकट से जूझ रहे अमेरिका को भारत ने हाइड्रोक्सीक्लोरोक्विन के निर्यात की मंजूरी दे दी है। भारत से हाइड्रोक्सीक्लोरोक्विन की मंजूरी मिलने के बाद अमेरिकी राष्ट्रपति डोनाल्ड ट्रंप के सुर बदले नजर आ रहे हैं। उन्होंने जमकर भारत के प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी की तारीफ की। ट्रंप ने भारत की ओर से कोरोना के इलाज में कारगर माने जा रहे मलेरिया की दवाई हाइड्रोक्सीक्लोरोक्विन दिए जाने के बाद कहा कि अमेरिका इस मदद को कभी नहीं भूल पाएगा। उन्होंने भारत और भारत के पीएम नरेंद्र मोदी को धन्यवाद दिया।
If he doesn't allow it to come out, that would be okay, but of course there may be retaliation. Why wouldn't there be?
अमेरिका में कोरोना वायरस का संकट तेजी से बढ़ रहा है। कोरोना मरीजों के इलाज के लिए ट्रायल के तौर पर भारत से दवा की सप्लाई की उम्मीद कर रहे डोनाल्ड ट्रंप ने एक बार फिर अपनी मांग दोहराई है। मीडिया को संबोधित करते हुए कहा कि भारत हाइड्रोक्सीक्लोरोक्विन दवा सप्लाई करता है तो ठीक है, वरना हम जवाबी कार्रवाई करेंगे।
Are you worried about retaliation to your decision to ban export of medical goods, like Indian Prime Minister Modi's decision to not export hydroxychloroquine to the United States and other countries?
I don't like that decision. I didn't hear that was his decision. I know that he stopped it for other countries. I spoke to him yesterday. We had a very good talk, and we'll see whether or not that's his. I would be surprised if he would, because India does very well with the United States. For many years, they've been taking advantage of the United States on trade. So I would be surprised if that were his decision. He'd have to tell me that. I spoke to him Sunday morning, called him, and I said, we'd appreciate your allowing our supply to come out. If he doesn't allow it to come out, that would be okay. But of course, there may be retaliation. Why wouldn't there be? Intensive care is a big deal with regard to what we're talking about. That's a very big deal, very scary deal.
बता दें कि हाइड्रोक्सीक्लोरोक्विन दवा मलेरिया के लिए होती है, जिसका भारत प्रमुख निर्यातक रहा है। समाचार एजेंसी ANI के मुताबिक अमेरिकी राष्ट्रपति डोनाल्ड ट्रंप ने कहा कि इस संबंध में मैंने रविवार की सुबह प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी से बात की थी। उन्होंने हमारी दवा की सप्लाई की अनुमति दे दी थी, जिसकी मैं सराहना करता हूं।
Prime Minister Modi of India this morning, they make large amounts of hydroxychloroquine, very large amounts, frankly. And I said they had a hold because, they have 1.5 billion people and they think a lot of it. And I said I'd appreciate if they would release the amounts that we ordered, and they are giving it serious consideration.
उन्होंने आगे यह भी कहा कि वह एंटी मलेरिया दवा हाइड्रोक्सीक्लोरोक्विन की दवा सप्लाई नहीं भी करते हैं तो कोई बात नहीं, मगर हम इस पर जवाबी कार्रवाई करेंगे। कोरोना वायरस का खतरा अमेरिका में लगातार गहराता जा रहा है। हर दिन मौत के आंकड़ों में इजाफा हो रहा है और ये संख्या 12,000 तक पार कर गई है। इस बीच अमेरिकी राष्ट्रपति डोनाल्ड ट्रंप ने विश्व स्वास्थ्य संगठन यानी WHO पर चीन केंद्रित होने का आरोप लगाकर फंडिंग रोकने की धमकी दी है। राष्ट्रपति ट्रंप ने कहा कि वे WHO की फंडिंग रोकने जा रहे हैं।
They've been wrong about a lot of things, and they had a lot of information early, and they didn't want to. They seem to be very China-centric.
विश्व स्वास्थ्य संगठन को अमेरिका से बड़ी मात्रा में धन प्राप्त होता है। उन्होंने मेरे द्वारा लगाए गए यात्रा प्रतिबंध की आलोचना की और असहमति जताई है। राष्ट्रपति ट्रंप ने व्हाइट हाउस में कोरोना वायरस पे डेली ब्रीफिंग के दौरान कहा कि हम WHO पर बहुत ही शक्तिशाली रोक लगाने जा रहे हैं।
The WHO, that's the World Health Organization, receives vast amounts of money from the United States, and we pay for a majority, a biggest portion of their money. And they actually criticized and disagreed with my travel ban at the time I did it, and they were wrong. They've been wrong about a lot of things. And they had a lot of information early, and they didn't want to. They seemed to be very China-centric. And we have to look into that. So we're going to look into it. We give a majority of the money that they get. And it's much more than the $58 million is a small portion of what they've gotten over the years. Sometimes they get much more than that. Sometimes it's for programs that they're doing, and it's much bigger numbers. And if the programs are good, that's great as far as we're concerned. But we want to look into it. World Health Organization, because they really are, they called it wrong. They called it wrong. They missed the call. They could have called it months earlier. They would have known. And they should have known. And they probably did know. So we'll be looking into that very carefully. And we're going to put a hold on money spent to the WHO. We're going to put a very powerful hold on it. And we're going to see. It's a great thing if it works. But when they call every shot wrong, that's no good.
So is it time to freeze funding to the WHO during a pandemic?
No, maybe not. I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to do it, but we're going to look at it.
You did say that.
We give a tremendous, no, I didn't. I said we're going to look at it. We're going to investigate it. We're going to look at it. But we will look at ending funding. Yeah. Because you know what? They called it wrong. And if you look back over the years even, they're very much, everything seems to be very biased toward China. That's not right.
इससे पहले भी मार्च में अमेरिका के राष्ट्रपति डोनाल्ड ट्रंप ने विश्व स्वास्थ्य संगठन WHO पर कोरोना वायरस संकट को लेकर चीन का पक्ष लेने का आरोप लगाया था। ट्रंप ने उस वक्त दावा किया था कि वैश्विक स्वास्थ्य एजेंसी के इस रवैये को लेकर कई लोग नाराज हैं और महसूस कर रहे हैं कि यह बिल्कुल ठीक नहीं है।